Okay, and here we go. So we are going to basically just kind of freewheel here and show how we are going to start developing this project right from the beginning. I have a completely blank PLC program. Basically has nothing in it right now. And I have a factory IO file that I've developed here. It looks kind of excessive, but it is basically an elevator. So pallets go into this elevator and get sorted and come out either on level 1 or level 2. I made some pretty crazy platforms and railing and stuff like that. I got carried away with that. But basically the whole premise here is pallets in, sort with vision system. The elevator is going to make it go to level 1 or level 2 depending on what's on the pallet. So let's develop this right from the beginning. We're going to do motion logic, fault logic, home return, and some safety logic to go with this all as well. So right from the very beginning, let's do it all. So this project machine, it should be completely developed. We won't get into that. I guess the other thing we're going to do, you can see over here, we're going to display a part count, cycle time, and the number of parts per hour. It has some data collection. We'll display those things as well. So do a little bit of calculation and data collection there. And that will be everything we do for the project. Alright, so we're going to do this completely. I'm just going to live record everything that I do. It is probably going to take a couple of hours, but I'll fast forward through some of the boring parts. So I already have the machine built. If you were actually doing this as a project you would do for a company, the machine you would get a layout of the machine, you would get a rough outline of how they want it to work, things like that. So those things would kind of be assumed. You would be responsible probably for the actual, just the programming of the machine itself, programming and startup of it. So those are the things we're going to concentrate on. So let's look at what we can do here. So let's go to our PLC, and I'm going to split my screen here. So your drivers, this is all of our I/O signals, inputs and outputs. You can see all the greens are booleans, the blues are reals or floats, and the oranges or browns are integers. So I need to create all my alias tags for those. So that's going to be the first thing I'm going to do, is basically define all my I/O. Let's start laying this out in here. So I'm just going to basically place these on here. If you were going to get this from a machine builder, this would probably already be all defined for you. So I'm just going to drop these in. Hopefully I don't miss anything. But if you were actually doing this project yourself, this would be the first step you would have to do. I'll go through later and explain what all these things are as well. This lays them all out alphabetically. I guess that should be it for inputs. If we figure out at any point that we are missing anything, we'll put those in later. We do have some spelling mistakes in here, I can see, and we'll fix that up later too. Or not. All right. Alright, so that should be everything for laying stuff out. Now let's actually create some tags. So this is where things are going to get kind of tricky. So we could just go through and start creating tags all over the place. I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start pulling from other programs. So I don't need to create new stuff. So I'm going to go from an existing project and try to think of what programs I have that work closely with this. So I have, let me see, I think the safety one that I just did recently. Let's start from there. That's a pretty good source. So I'm going to open up that program. That's going to be where I'm going to start from. What I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to copy tags from that program into this program. I think I'll also grab the safety code from that program and just dump it into here. And then I'll modify that as I need it later on as well. So that was basically the program that I just used to do the safety PLC just recently. In the previous videos, the safety PLC. So this program is just opening right now. So my simulation right now for safety, just so you're aware, we have one safety gate and two e-stops. So e-stop and e-stop right there. That is what we have for safety devices. So that is what we will be using. So when I copy the safety logic, I need so I have safety logic for one set of contactors. We'll say an e-stop or safety gate is going to shut down everything and just treat it all together. So from that safety program I did before, I'm going to bring the e-stops, gates, and zones and outputs from that. Alright, so let's get my two programs side by side here. So this is my safety program. This is my new program on the left-hand side, the old program on the right-hand side. And I want to grab this entire routine and bring it over. Oh, I can. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Just going to copy that. Under main. There. Delete this guy. Alright, so that's my all my jumps. I'm going to bring in e-stops, gates, zones, outputs, and I need that signal thing as well. Yeah, so I need all that stuff. And then I'm just going to get all the controller tags from this. So this has all the booleans, all of the safety tags, all of this stuff. There's probably a ton of stuff in here that I don't need, but I'll figure that out later. At this point, I'm just going to grab everything, highlight it all. I think I can just drag this over to the controller tags of the other program. I'll try doing that. Nope, doesn't want to do that. I need to do a copy and paste. Let's say copy. Go here. I want to paste. Copy. Paste. Look at that. There we go. Creating tags. That's a lot better than keying them in. Probably because I'm copying about at least 100 tags here too. So that's all my booleans. Boolean ins, boolean outs, a bunch of the safety tags that I need to run that safety logic. So I'll just need to eliminate a bunch of that stuff because there's more there than I need. Integers are there. I'll probably have to create the floats because I don't think I have any floats in it. That's a pretty good start. Now I need to find some motion logic. I'm going to use one of the labs we did recently. I think we had I think the lab we did recently with lab number 6 or lab number 7 had all the cycle time stuff in it. So let's go over here. Let's close this. Let's open lab 6 or lab 7. Cycle times. Yeah, I think this was good. I think this was pretty complete. At least this version I have here of it should be pretty complete. Yeah, so let's grab the modes from this. Mode logic. The conveyor. Grab one of the gantries. Gantry in the elevator, pretty close. The sequencer. And the faults as well. Let's do that. That should be pretty good. And then the other things that I need, the add-on instructions. So I need solenoid motion. I need gantry. I need motor. I need modes. That should be good. What do we have for tags in here? I think in here I had some floats. Yeah, let's grab all these floats. Anything relating to cycle time, grab that stuff. Dry cycle, flasher, grab those. I'm probably getting most of this, probably missing some of it. I'll reset and free running timer. If I'm missing anything, I can just create it myself, but if it's If I grab it, I might as well grab it. It's already created once and has comments with it, I might as well get it. All this stuff is real. And some of the UET-based stuff. Where's that? Like one of the gantry ones. Let me grab gantry. I'm going to change that one. I'll use that for my elevator. Alright, so that should be a good start. I'm happy with that to go from there. Alright, so I have a good foundation of a program now. We'll see what we can do with that. So now that I have a good foundation of a program, I need to build this. So I've got safety logic, I've got standard logic. I'm not going to worry about the safety logic right now, I'll do that last. Let's look at just the standard logic. So I know I'm going to have modes. You always have modes. I'm going to have faults. I'm going to have a sequencer. I'm going to have conveyor, and then let's look at what my actual motions are here. If this was a real machine project, we'd probably get someone handing this to us. But basically the way this is going to work, let's dock all the tags here so we can see what's going on. So pallet comes down the conveyor there. We're going to get the pallet in the station. We've got a roller stop over here, so it's going to get held up with the roller stop. So roller stop goes up and down, you can see that there. So roller stop will basically, pallet comes up there, roller stop will drop down. Then we roll in here. Once we are on that photo eye right there, so once we're on that eye, let's see that we're on that one. We'll see that we're on this one. Once we make this one, we're going to say that we have loaded the elevator successfully. And then once we've loaded the elevator and we know whether it's going to be going to deck 1 or deck 2, we'll say like the green parts will go here, blue parts will go up here. So if we see a green part, we're going to take it to the first deck. So we'll say move it on up. So we basically run the elevator up to, I think it was like 4.6 or something. Right about there, we run the elevator, we run the pallet off, and then we run back down to 0. Wait for the next part, 0 or whatever home position is. Yeah, I guess 0. We get the other color part, we're going to run all the way up to, I think it's 9 point something. I'll have to play with this to figure out what the right value is. Right about there. Oh, that's pretty good. And then we run off here. Let's say 9.4. And then we run all the way back down to 0. So that is basically our machine operation. So we will use a sequencer. So basically we need to, we'll run all the conveyors all the time. We'll determine with this vision system what type of part we have. And then we will run a sequence. We get a part at the roller here. Roller will drop, part loads in. Once the part is loaded, roller goes up, elevator moves position, elevator unloads, and then elevator returns back to home position. That's basically our sequence. As far as safety goes, e-stop or safety gate, so gate or e-stop button will make everything stop. And that is what we're trying to accomplish. So let's make that happen. So let's start with looking at our logic here. That's the first thing we need to do is assign all of our real inputs and outputs. So let's look at how all this stuff lays out. If this was a real world thing, you'd be looking at your electrical drawings now to figure this out. But we need to assign our real ins and outs. So we are going to alias a whole bunch of tags. So let's start doing that. So we're going to create a tag called auto. My convention is going to be, if it has an underscore in the name, that is going to be a real I/O point that's alias to a boolean. So boolean input 0 is auto underscore SS for auto selector switch. So that's bool 0. I'll come back and comment these in a little bit. Configure run PV. This is probably one of the more time-consuming and boring parts of this. Let's see if we can fast forward through this.